Hi. Good
Hello.
morning.
How's it going?
Going well. Thanks for coming to our
Yeah.
podcast, All Pop No Fiction. Dr. Marcelo, would you please introduce yourself
Oh
to
yeah,
us?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks to the dental podcast, I'll Pulp No Fiction. My name is Dr. Marcelo Freire. I have a dental background, but also I did a periodontal specialty, so I'm a periodontist.
Okay.
My career track's a little different because I did a lot of research track, even though I see patients, but I'm mostly full-time scientist. So I'm an associate professor in the Craig Venter Institute in La Jolla, California.
Nice.
Really beautiful place, but also affiliate to University of California, San Diego.
Nice. And I know you're also known with a nickname. What is it?
Oh yeah, you guys can look it up. It's called hashtag Doctor Inflammation.
Information. So, how did that name came to be?
You know, it turns out that growing up in the countryside of Brazil, I always noticed that people would have oral inflammation. And I intuitively felt like if the mouth was inflamed, the body was inflamed too.
Yeah.
So sort of always loved the idea of oral systemic, but I felt that the medical field was really up there, but the oral field, we were not talking about inflammation at the time when I was a faculty foresight and a resident at Harvard. It was novel. People were talking about procedures, right? It's about doing the root canal. It's about doing the periodontal therapy. It's about doing the feeling. But we don't want to be only that. We want to be diagnostic. We want to be working with prognosis and tailored treatment. So doctor inflammation came from this passion, that inflammation is the root cause of a lot of diseases.
Yeah.
Periodontal disease or cancer, even caries, you have inflammation.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I'm trying to find and dissect common pathways, molecular pathways, cellular pathways that are common in diseases so we can actually treat multiple diseases at once.
I see. And we are in the IADR 2024.
Woohoo! We are in
right.
person, there's poster session.
Finally, right?
I know.
Yeah.
It's good. By the coffee place.
Yeah. I mean, online was good and all, but no, this is way better, right? And tell me, what are you doing here? Like for in the IDR 2024, like what benefits you see from gathering
Yeah.
together with all these scientists?
I mean, the IADR and the AA, the OCR, and all the international divisions, it's sort of like a family. We are always together to share our information. It brings a lot of energy back, and new enthusiasm and new insights because we also share really important information, scientific. So, for example, I brought my group here from La Jolla. My laboratory, we are releasing here in IADR the first open source big data for saliva. And these are saliva that was sequenced. And you can sequence for genome, you can sequence for microbiome, but in this case, we're releasing the salivaryproteome.org, which is basically the collection of all proteins in saliva.
I see. And how does this help, like dentists out there or researchers out there, progress their research, or like how can we as a dental community use this information?
Wow, that's a deep question. That's good.
I'm
Good.
sorry. I'm like, I want to know more about it.
No, you're going straight to the point. And the idea is if you do something open source, it can really impact a lot of people. So in one way, someone can just ask a question. Okay, what is the function of amylase in men versus women? But they can ask that question, do their own research in their own lab. But now they have this database available, and we have 1,500 data sets. So it's the number one amount of proteomes catalog. So you can ask your own question, and you can say, how does amylase differ from this population to that population? Maybe you want something more immunological and you want to understand some immune functions. So you can find what is immunity, what are the pathways in saliva. The saliva has a lot of immune cells, epithelial cells, and microbes. So it's sort of like a great medium in the body for host microbe interaction. So I think the way it helps clinicians is we also deal with genetic diseases. We deal with therapeutic issues, and understanding a little bit more on the molecular level. It's like opening up your brain. It's like going to the next level, you know.
I see.
So you go from macro view, then micro, but then molecular view, you know. So you open up your, it's like opening up the matrix movie
New
for your
dimension,
life.
basically.
A new
right?
dimension.
Yes.
Salivary.org.
Yeah, I see.
And you can go and it's free, no login, no fees. You can download, you can upload your own data. And
And there's a way to confirm that this data is accurate also, like, because, people
that's
just
another really
uploading
good
is,
question. Yes. The idea is any sort of crowdsource initiative, there'll be noise.
Uh-huh.
But the idea is that through the volumes that we have, there will be validation. Because some centers are doing longitudinal studies, some centers are doing really big number. And through those, we know that they're published, we know that's reliable.
Perfect.
So we can validate. In terms of methods that you asked, you do not need to be a bioinformatics person, you know?
Yeah, right. I asked about it because,
You don't need to run your codes.
Yeah.
And my institute, there are several informatics people. They did the human genome sequence. We did the human microbiome sequence before even oral.
I see.
So our center, the J. Craig Venter Institute in La Jolla, is an informatics place. But I wanted to create something that's non-informatics based because of the idea that I want to make it simple. You know, it's like the phone, once we created the apps, you don't want to compute and do an app yourself, but you want to use an app.
Right,
That's what we
exactly.
are doing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, you can create your own heat map in 10 seconds. You can create your volcano plot. You can create your PCA plot. And it's a matter of minutes to get your full data downloaded and you're off to your own papers. You can,
That sounds great.
yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for sharing all this information with us. I'll definitely have your information in the
Yes.
description.
Yes.
So any people who's watching or listening could actually reach out to you and maybe, know more about how to use this platform.
Yeah, Dr. Inflammation will be here on Instagram and
Yes.
Twitter or X. And thank you for the opportunity to share the salivary proteome. And I hope you guys use and give us feedback at this early stage. We want your involvement. So join us.
Okay. Thank you very much.